What's up everybody, it's the Novice and I'm back with another video. Now today's video will be on the hacker methodology. So what exactly does that mean? Well, for most hackers, they have steps or some sort of guidelines that they like to take a look at to help guide them through whatever it is that they're trying to do. Now, when I think of the hacker methodology, the first thing that comes to my mind is Lockheed Martin's cyber kill chain. Now it is this that we're gonna follow here, but I want you guys to keep in mind that this is not necessarily a step-by-step guide, but instead a list that can be used and changed, and the order might vary depending on the type of attack you're trying to do or how you're trying to go about doing so. But first, we're gonna break it down into the steps and then we'll continue from there. So first is reconnaissance. Sounds cool, sounds mystical. Now, reconnaissance is simply the art of obtaining more information about who it is you are trying to attack or the location you are trying to attack. It could be as simple as looking up on Google who works at XYZ company, looking at LinkedIn for current employees, looking at websites for phone numbers, just anything that gets you more information on who your target is going to be. You can consider yourself engaging in reconnaissance. Now, there are two separate types of reconnaissance. Those are active and passive. So we'll start off with passive. Passive reconnaissance is kind of what I just described. It's when you look for information about the target without actually touching the target yet. Because, for instance, say you're looking up someone's information on Google. You haven't actually touched their computer, you haven't touched their instance, you haven't touched their network. You've done nothing but look up information on them that is publicly available that you can use to actually get to them. Now, with active reconnaissance, you are actively on their machine or network or somewhere that can get to them, trying to discover more information about them. An example of this is Nmap. When people use Nmaps to scan subnets to find different IP addresses, they are acting in active reconnaissance to gain information on IP addresses and then actual available hosts, as well as any open ports that might be on there. Now that is the first step, reconnaissance. Next up is weaponization. After you've gotten all the sweet, juicy details that you want about the company, you now have to form a weapon of some sort that you can then use to exploit the company. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So say for instance, you find out, hey, this company has a vulnerability in their firewall somewhere. You developing a payload that actually gets you to the heart of that vulnerability to exploit it is the weaponization phase. Do not mistake it for the following phases I'm about to say. Weaponization is when you're actually in the process of creating that payload. So think of using tools like Metasploit, which can easily make payloads depending on the type of infrastructure that you have, the type of ports that are open, and things of that nature. Now the next step would be delivery. Now the step aligns with its name pretty significantly here. So in this case, take it as if I'm a mailman, I'm delivering to you a package. In this case, you are delivering the payload that you have for that environment or for that person or whatever it is you're trying to attack. You trying to get a way to deliver it to them, whether it be through email. Some people use phishing campaigns to try to get someone to click an email and that will get their attack started. Some people might use USB drives to actually try to put the malware, put whatever they are trying to put onto the device or network. And some people might actually just have a website that they're trying to lead someone into, where once they get there, they can then send information to that other person, and that's how they'll set up their delivery. Now, after that is the actual exploitation. Now, this is where the payload that you work so painstakingly hard for actually comes into play. Once the payload is released into the environment, it actually does what it's supposed to and exploit whatever vulnerability is in play. Now, in the example of the firewall vulnerability, say there was a vulnerability that led you to control the flow of traffic that comes in and out of the network. With that, you've exploited it, you now control that. So any policies that are on the firewall previously no longer apply to you because you have now found a way to circumvent that. Now that is the entire point of the exploitation phase. Find the weakness, go after it. Now the next stage is installation. Now this is where it gets a little interesting. Now with most attacks and most hackers, they don't want to just be in your network, bing bang boom, get out of there. You want to spend time in there so that you can grab as much information as you can. If you want to hold a ransom over someone's head, you want and need to encrypt as much information as you can. So some people will try to actually install backdoors or certain ways that they can continuously come back and harass you or your company or whatever the case might be. And that is the point of installation stage. Pretty much most people will look to create a backdoor that's unknown to the user or to anybody in the firm. And by doing so, they have easy access front and back, to and fro, where they're attacking. After that, we have command and control. Now, command and control, if you guys know what C2 is, command and control. In this instance, you are trying to find a way to remotely control whatever it is that you have now attacked. Now with that, this is where you can make room for exfiltration of data or information. Say for instance, I know IP address 10.20.20.2 has certain information pertaining the accounting of a particular company. If I can now add that to my botnet or somehow have remote control over it, I can then ask it to exfiltrate that information either to an email address or website or domain that I control so that I can now have that information. And that's the entire point of command and control. You're trying to actually get control of a specific device or something that you packed into. And finally is the action on objectives. Now with that, this is pretty much unique to each hacker, but most of the time what you're going to be doing is trying to find information or find ways to completely compromise their environment, find where the money is. Most of the time it does have to do with HR or accounting, or just completely mess with their network because you're feeling that way that day. So with this, it can be variable, but this is the stage where you're pretty much actually executing on what your goal was this entire time. Now, like I was saying, these rules aren't set into place. For instance, say you've gotten all the way to the exploitation phase. Let's say that you found now some username or passwords within that organization, within that firm. It's okay for you to go back into the reconnaissance stage, see what they have permission to, see what access they have, and then from there you go back into weaponization. You build weapons that can help you to attack that specific user and then try to escalate your privileges. Now these rules aren't just set in place, like I said, and I want to keep reminding you of that, because a lot of times, especially in pen tests or some sorts of attacks, you're gonna find yourself going into cycles where you find new information, you try new things out, and then you try to find out what actually sticks for you. Now that's pretty much it for this methodology video. My hope is that as we go forward, as I continue to do attacks and build up to them, I'll be able to now explain to you, oh, this is the stage that this is happening in. For instance, in one of the videos in the future, I'm planning on using the respondus, I believe that's what it's called, and it's gonna pretty much be used to exploit and then gain reconnaissance information as well. But as I go through things like that, I want to be able to actually explain to you why I'm doing that, and then show how I can then use what I've gained to continue to further my attack. Now, that's all that I have for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something new about the hacker methodology. I know that a lot of people use actually use different methodologies, but this is the one that I'm most comfortable with. And I might do some research on some different ones, and who knows, maybe do some videos on that one, but we're gonna start here. So without further ado, I just want to say thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm watching you. I know you haven't subscribed yet, so hit that subscribe button. I thank you guys for everything, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.